What's up, everybody? Sean Lowery Show podcast. I am here today from with Andrew Wallis from across the pond. What's up, Andrew?
Hey, Sean. What's up? Everything's fine here, man. So as I say, welcome to the Isle of Man.
The Isle of Man.
It's great to welcome you here.
The Isle of Man. That's where you are. Is that what is that?
Clues in the title. It's an island, but it's not just men here. It's men and women. So,
the Isle of People.
The Isle of People.
There you go.
Yeah, small island, smack bang in the middle of the Irish Sea. 75,000 folks here, and my nationality is Manx, Manx. So
okay. I've never heard of that. Manx. That's your nationality. What's that?
That's our national. So we're part of the United Kingdom, but
okay.
We're separate from England. We've got a Celtic heritage. We were invaded by the Vikings, and we've got the oldest government in continuous government in the world.
Really?
979 AD.
Wow.
Our government was formed. So
wow.
Lots of history.
Wow, that's incredible. The Romans, they had a really long government. Have you surpassed how long they lasted yet?
That's a good point. My history on that side of things
is about 1,000 years, about 1,100 years. Whatever. It's a long time, and that's really impressive.
It's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time. Yeah, who knows? But into the more modern world, why don't you tell everyone kind of what your expertise is and what you do?
Excellent. Well, thanks for that. My expertise, I guess, is helping primarily fitness business owners, so independent gyms, fitness studio owners, whether that be yoga, Pilates, PT, CrossFit boxers, etc. Find their voice, find their people. My goal, my mission is to help everybody lead the best lives that they can, and I know in able to do that, I can't do that alone. So I figure that my mission, if I can help fitness business owners help their client base, then globally we can change the world essentially.
Right. Yeah. Fitness business. So that is, a lot of people are trying to get people to their gym, right? Like that is the goal. Is for a lot of your clients is the metric like gym signups, like memberships? Is that the objective?
Gym signups. Obviously, COVID's had a massive hit, as you can understand. So we've had to pivot a lot. So the likes of Peloton have obviously increased things. Nordic Track are now moving and online with a lot of the home-based programs and equipment that they provide. And similarly, lots of coaches have found that, they've had to run their sessions via Zoom. Who heard of Zoom 18 months ago?
I would imagine fitness is one of the industries that has been hit the most by COVID, and restaurants and things like that.
For sure. I work with clients in the US, in Canada, and here in the UK, and in Europe as well. I still have connections with clients. I used to work in Australia for 3 years, so I've got connections over there. But I know that everywhere we all got hit significantly hard, and I know in the US and California even more so, where they were locked down for over 12 months, which and not really given much support. So it's been really tough. It's been tough for everybody, but certainly for business owners, it's been tough if they've not had that financial support as other industries may have had.
Right. Yeah. It's funny. It's helped some businesses, for example, Zoom. And I'm in a unique situation because I sell clothing online it's a personalized monogram clothing business. It's mostly in the States and it's mostly to girls, but it's clothing. So we had a big spike in sales because people are sitting at home, shopping online, buying tops. I heard during COVID, the sales of pants went way down, but the sales of tops went up because people still had to show up on screen and the bottom half didn't matter. So we did really well, but I have a big building now where we like produce and ship and embroider and print. So that was all still operational, and we were kind of naturally socially distanced because everyone had their own station. And I'm in Charleston, South Carolina on the East Coast, and we were able to stay operational throughout COVID. So we did have a spike in sales, and we were able to stay operational. So we were lucky in that sense. But yeah, it's affected a lot of businesses differently, and it's just a shift, and good business owners have to be ready to adapt when the shift comes, right?
That's it. And, I had to pivot as well because it didn't feel right to me to charge clients when they weren't having any income coming in, any revenues coming in. So I had to like pause and put a hold on things. There were certain clients, as I said, they wanted assistance because they were taking the opportunity to build online courses or to look at crafting out or pivoting to remote coaching online.
People always need exercise, especially if you're locked down. I mean, it's very important for your health. So there's still a need. It's just shifting how people are getting that.
Yeah, and it's just helping people really, because of the challenges and the stresses, just for the mental health of people as well. And just moving and being able to get those endorphins kicked in to make us feel much better and brighter about ourselves, because yourself, Sean, that feeling good is half the course, really.
Right. I go to the gym 5 a.m. pretty much every day. Sometimes if I work late, I won't wake up for it, but it is like part of the daily routine, and it's so important. It's so important for your body to be able to exercise and feel good. So it's a need that is always. We're just humans, and humans need that to the endorphins, like you said.
We need to move, particularly those people, solopreneurs, people and people who were working in offices and going or people going to work who were suddenly stuck at home. That they were sat for 8, 9, 10 hours a day, not moving hardly at all, apart from going to get the next cup of coffee or to get some more food, and generally we're eating more. So yeah, it's so important to be moving. And I'm lucky where we are here, even though it gets cold in the winter, as I'm sure it does, certainly on the East Coast. I'd put some layers on, and I was working. I was doing my workouts outside to get the fresh air and things, sun, rain, snow, and shine. So no, it's important.
There you go. Definitely. So is that market fitness businesses? That's your area of expertise when it comes to helping them market.
Yeah, just I've got that background. I've ran my own fitness company since 2004. Then, as I say, in 2011, I had the opportunity to emigrate to Australia to manage W8 boot camps for women. So I was managing that, looking after the 6 locations that we had there. So and I've always had that passion for health and wellness.
Nice.
And then it was a transition. The owners there, they had a separate part of the business where they educated fitness business owners. They needed to, being the business owners, they needed to work on the business as opposed to in the business, as I'm sure you know. So they looked at who they had, and had my background. I've got a financial background of 20 years from being on the island originally. So they said, right, here we go. The next day you're working as the business coach as well as running the boot camps. So it was a bit of a sink or swim. But thankfully I was able to swim, found I really enjoyed it, and found that I was able to really understand these business owners from having experience of running my own business, and really help them not make the same mistakes that I'd made as a business owner. I've made so many mistakes over the past years.
It's how you learn, right?
That's how you grow.
You could just sit there and never take any risks and never do anything frightening. But come on, everyone knows that it's a basic piece of advice. Go for it. Go after it. If you fail, learn from it. So of course. Do you think when it comes, all right, let me ask you about like marketing and like even marketing metrics and marketing plans. Like, do you think that fitness businesses, e-commerce clothing businesses, do you think that the same principles apply to all types of businesses when it comes to marketing plans and marketing metrics?
I do. I do,
Yeah.
Sean. I think that, business comes down to numbers and having set procedures and plans in place. And certainly within the fitness industry, the mistakes I see people make is that these guys have a passion. Guys, I use the term guys and girls.
It's fine, man. It's fine. It's fine. No one cares.
But they're highly skilled at their craft. There's a lot of good fitness coaches out there, and they come into the industry with the right ideas and the right methodologies behind them.
And for them, that's essentially a product in a way, right?
Absolutely. The trouble is that they come into this and they're not business owners. They haven't been taught that. And that's where I feel, certainly in the UK, I feel the UK education system lets us down. We're taught to learn and absorb information.
It's the same in America. It's like a school teaches you to be an employee.
It does. And these guys they've got a lot to give, but then they lose that passion. They lose that joie de vivre, and then they're struggling there, and ultimately they have to go and get that job, that just over broke, and they're out with the industry has lost another great person. So, as I say, my mission is that I look to help them find their freedom to build the life that they want to live, giving value to their audience,
That's awesome.
To their client base.
So where do you start? So say in the case of fitness, you're the best instructor. You're so knowledgeable about what you should do to get in shape. And essentially they have a really good product. Or for any business that has the product prepared, but nobody knows about it yet. Right. That's where the marketing comes in. That's where you have to have people find out about you. What is the first thing that you think is the most important thing for someone to start, to have people, all right, we're open for business. We're ready. What's the first move?
Well, unfortunately, we can't do the Kevin Costner Field of Dreams approach, build it and they will come.
That does not, that's just from a movie. That does not like a piece of life advice.
No, unfortunately not. Although location can play a key part, if you've got a facility and it's located in a prominent area in town.
Well, that's probably going to be expensive. And if you are just starting, you're probably not going to be able to afford that.
No, you're going to be in the back street somewhere.
Exactly,
so the key thing for me, and this is certainly it's prevalent in the fitness industry, and it was a mistake I made, was that I was desperate for clients. I can train anybody, and when you're trying to appease everybody, you're not attractive to anybody. So we that's where we have to niche down, as you guys over there say, or niche as we say in the UK. So that knowing who your target clients, who you're passionate about working with, because this can be fun. Business can, and I feel should be fun. I wake up and I'm excited for the day. I work too much because I don't see it as work. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy sitting down as we are, having a chat with folks, and I finish the day almost on the same high as when I started, because I've thoroughly enjoyed the interactions I have with folks, and if I can help somebody, even better.
Right.
So it's definitely knowing who your target audience is, who you want to work with. Then when you've got a clear picture of who that person is, you start understanding their life, where they live, what their challenges are, what they might be searching for on Dr. Google, as we call it. But then it's like, again, I see the mistake. People jump onto Facebook and then they'll go into Facebook ads, or they'll go into Instagram, and they're trying to sell their product straight out the gate. And I was taught a few years back about the importance of traffic temperature. And what I mean by that is that not everybody that, if they come across you, be it on your social media or they find your website, that there are differing types of temperature. And it's almost like a traffic light system where you've got red, amber, and green. And your red would be, let's say, your cold audience. So they may not know who Sean Lowery is. They may not have listened to one of your podcasts. They may not know about your clothing business. But they've somehow come across your site. But they may not be at this stage ready to purchase right now. So we can't go hitting them with buy this and things like that, because that's just going to scare them off. So we have to think of what type of offer is going to attract them. So it might be a cheat sheet, it might be a blueprint, it might be a free sample in the for the fitness business side of things. It might be download some fall recipes.
Yeah. Some value that you provide to them.
Exactly. It's a low barrier to entry. There's, we're not pushing them to sell. We're just giving value, as you say. Mm-hmm. And in exchange, we might ask them for, their email address. Right. So they're on our email list. And that gives us, that's a significant trade of value there. We've given them something and they've given us something of equal value.
That would become at least the yellow or amber light, as you said. Right? Once they give you that email address, they probably move.
Exactly. So that's a significant transaction, although there's been no monetary exchange. But they've moved from being aware, being unaware to aware, and now they're interested to.
I like the traffic light analogy, and also like how you the cultural difference. You call it amber, we call it yellow. Obviously, okay. same thing. It's actually more amber than yellow, to be honest. But when they give you your email address, they go from red to amber.
To amber, yeah. So now they're on our email list, and that gives us the chance to showcase our skills, to show that we are an authority on our area of expertise, and we're able to continue giving value through the occasional email that goes out to them. That's again value based, and the approach I like to take with emails is that I'll do a 4 tell 1 sell approach. So in a series of, say, 5 emails, 4 of them will be purely
over what period of time would those 5 emails be?
It's dependent, Sean. It could be over 5 weeks. So it depends on the frequency of how often somebody would communicate with their audience. I don't like to push too much. I feel that quality over quantity plays a part, but equally, I want to stay in front, so be top of mind of my prospects, so that when they've made the determination that they want to take the next step, being my name is up there when they want to make that next step. And then I'm trying to make that next step as straightforward and simple as possible. So when they're ready to press go and we green, then that's where they'll lead into a discovery call or a consultation or whatever, which would then lead into a sale.
Moolah, money.
Moolah.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's funny you said you think like a lot of businesses have the same model. I find it to be with what I sell a little different. Like we sell clothing, and it's a lot of times we put it on sale, and we'll have good deals. And I feel like I go from in the not the podcast, in the clothing business, from like red to green, because the first interaction is almost like a purchase, and they might spend $15. And then if they enjoy that, then they're going to come back over and over and buy from us more and more. But it does. I always like one thing about a product business is I feel like you get a chance to prove yourself a little bit, but also get a little bit of revenue to help you survive, as opposed to it might be if you sell a fitness product and say it's a training and it's virtual, whether it be pre-recorded or live. that is a higher value that might be reoccurring, but it takes a little more effort to get someone to put their credit card in. And I feel like with the clothing, or a smaller, like more of a purchase that's kind of impulse purchase. You get the red. Like when I run ads, I just run conversion ads to cold audiences because and it works. And then then we have the automated emails to build them as a customer over time and grow them to love our brand. But I think is that a little different between like a small margin product versus a course as far as like the amber, the yellow area?
Quite possibly. And as you say, because obviously you've got your area expertise there. And as you're talking that through to me, I'm thinking, yes, I guess there is a difference in the buyer's intent. If somebody's searching on Google,
I don't really do a lot of Google ads because we're an impulse purchase. We're not as much of a research purchase as a fitness or something like a course might be.
Yeah, true.
But maybe I should do more of them. I don't know. But but either way, it's the same principle. You hit an audience, you educate them a little bit about your product. You don't want to nail them, and then you warm up to them, and then you ask for the sale, and then you provide them with a great service or product so they become a lifetime customer. And I mean that's kind of the basics, right?
It is, and you hit upon a good point there. That once we've made the sale, that's only the start of the next chapter, And again, that's where a lot of businesses make a mistake. Certainly in the fitness field, where they drop the ball. They've got the person in as a client, and you see this a lot more so in gyms and perhaps private training studios where the person's almost a number. They're not an individual, and yourself, as you say, with repeat buyers, it's much easier to sell to somebody again who knows, likes, and trusts you. So why not focus on really wowing them with your onboarding and then the interactions you have with them, always making sure that they get the best possible experience when they're with you. What I know that when I was running my boot camps, I wanted my clients in the boot camps that session was the best part of their day, be it the morning sessions, those early 6 a.m. sessions, or be it the 6 p.m. sessions that we ran in the evenings. That was to be, they would walk away and go, that in the morning it set them up for the day. And in the evening, if they'd had a not so great day at work and they turned up, we were able to have them leave and go, and yes, you know what, you've turned my day around, and they were able to go back and enjoy some
That's
family
awesome.
time.
You're right. And I imagine, correct me if I'm wrong, I imagine in the fitness industry, a lot of it is subscription / reoccurring. Like when I sign up for a gym, I give them my credit card, I pay for the first month, and then every month, it hits the bank account. So that's great. That the fact that if somebody's so lazy that they never go, you keep getting their payment. Now, eventually they're going to, call and cancel and all that. But if you could just keep them happy, you will continue to get that reoccurring monthly revenue, right? Like that's one of the things I love about that type of model. And gyms, sometimes they do try to make it hard to cancel.
They do. And that's what really annoys me with the fitness and the gym-based model, because for me, I'm in it to help people live a healthy, wholesome, value-based life. And it's people driven. It's focused on the individual. If I can give them the best, then I know that I'll get compensated accordingly for that. Whereas in gyms, as you say, there's certain gyms out there that will, they couldn't even, if all of their members were to turn up and take full advantage of their memberships, they wouldn't have the capacity to be able to deal with them, because they've got that many members.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. That's funny. Like if everyone showed up every day, they wouldn't be able to sell any more membership. So they're not complaining about that. They are happy that there's somebody out there paying monthly, not showing up. That's actually kind of good for business in a way, even though you're not really, someone's going to hate you, but
I'm values driven. You know, I have core values that guide me in life and help me make life decisions and business decisions. And if somebody was paying me but they weren't getting what I felt was the value that they deserved, then that needs to be addressed. And
so you the guy that's giving you $50 a month and doesn't show up, you'd call him and say, "Hey, sir, I think you should cancel," or you would just keep taking the money.
I did that just recently, and it was the kick up the backside the guy needed, and he's back on track.
There you go. So he didn't cancel; he just came back to the gym.
He just came back.
That's great.
But again, it was. Some people might say it's tough love, but for me, it was like, actually, it wasn't, because the tough love was he would have been paying for something he wasn't getting. But, But I want them to get, value for what they're paying for.
And that ultimately will, if it comes down to branding, just the best thing about branding is word of mouth. So if you have somebody out there who's saying like, yo, this gym, I didn't show up and the guy actually called me, like that is going to spread over time to ultimately be a better business. If you care about your customers, your business will be better over time. I don't think that's crazy.
That's what happened with the boot camps for sure, because if somebody didn't turn up, they were getting a text message from us saying, "Hey, I missed you today." And if they hadn't turned up for let's say, because we ran over the week, if they hadn't been for for 3 sessions, then we were giving them a quick call and say, "Hey, just touching base, haven't seen you, hope everything's okay." And there would be various excuses, I guess. I've been busy at work or whatever.
I'm feeling good.
Or it'd be like the honesty, you found me out, thanks for the kick up the backside. I'll be back. Or there might be they were under the weather. They were ill.
And that's what they said.
Yeah, they were grateful. So
the gym I go to, it's Orange Theory Fitness. And have you ever heard of it?
Yeah.
If you sign up for a class and you don't go, you get charged $12.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good I've definitely
accountability.
I've been going there for 4 years. Like I love the gym. They have definitely made a penny off me. I'll miss a class once every couple of weeks and I forgot to, I'm sure a lot of people call and they complain. I don't know. I don't do that, but that's almost a way of automating that. It's like, of course people are going to notice $12.
Yeah.
So it does work too. Cause it's like, all right, I gotta go. Yeah.
I like Orange Theory. They're a good they're a good brand, and that's an approach that works. It's that it's pain in the pocket, isn't it? If you don't go, then but it as I say, it doesn't. That's not my approach.
Right. Yeah. It works, and I know they're like a corporation and everything, but so a marketing plan like in general for business. I know that's one of the things that's on your website about a marketing plan. Like, how do you approach a marketing plan? Monthly, weekly, yearly, goals, promotions? How do you approach it?
Start by sitting down and looking. If somebody's been in business for a year or a number of years, and we'll look back to get an idea of what they've achieved previously. So it gives us that an idea of where they're at, what they've done, and then we'll look at plotting out the next year, making it better. But a year is a long way to. I look at that as I like to run, but running a marathon it's tough. I've ran a half marathon and that was
nice.
Thinking tough. I much prefer like a 5K or a 10K run. That's I can sprint to a degree, but I was never the best sprinter. But
that might be equivalent to like a quarter instead of a year as far as a marketing plan.
So that's what I generally do. I'll say, let's look at the year, but let's break it down into 4 quarters. And and the marketing plans that I work with my clients is we'll look at the next 90 days. So it's a series of 4 sprints, essentially.
Yes.
You know, it's long enough for us to get some real traction, but it's short enough for us to not run out of steam. But it's long enough equally that we've got 3 months. And of those 3 months, we've got 12 weeks. And
it's plenty of time. It's plenty of time to put together some marketing material. Think about it. I mean, yeah, I agree. I do the same thing, like a month or 2 in advance, 3 months. And sometimes if you adjust, like I'll make a plan. We'll make like a marketing plan. We're going to do this sale this month, this promotion this month or this week. And then the month starts and one of the things is not going well. So it's like, okay, let's adjust a little bit. So you got to do that sometimes. And it's nice to have it mapped out. It's the bigger the organization, I feel like, the better it is to have it mapped out, because then like purchasing and marketing, they're all aware of like what's going to be coming down the pipe. But sometimes you got to make an adjustment, right?
You do. And I noticed that because on numerous times now, and it's something that I'm certainly keen to get back into post-COVID is being able to go into organizations, sit down and troubleshoot. So generally that approach what I take is where we'll go into the business. On the first day, it's just purely observing, seeing how everything ticks, be it how the management team work, how the training staff are working, what the interactions are between each. Take part in an actual session to see how the coaches interact with their.
This is like operations, kind of, right? Like, yeah. Like, but the marketing plan, right? Like, what type of things do you generally have on there? Is it like sales? Is it emails? Is it type of ads? Is it blog posts? Is it content? Like, what type of deliverables do you have on a marketing plan?
Try and strip it down to be as straightforward as possible, to make it simple. I always like to keep things simple. So we'll look at, right, what's the overarching goal that we're looking to achieve here? And certainly in the fitness industry, most people are looking to get clients. They want
revenue.
More clients, they want more members, which
I think all businesses, the goal is revenue. Yeah. It's like, selling something.
So then it's looking at, right, so, okay, so we know the numbers that we're trying to attract. We know how much, well, actually, say we know, again, in the fitness industry, not a lot of the guys initially when they start out, they don't have their pricing and packaging set out. But once we clear that up and we know how much we're charging and we know how much we're looking to make, we can then work out how many clients we need, and then how many prospects from there and how many leads.
So reverse
engineering back.
Yeah, look at your expenses, see what type of top line you need, and then, okay, we need this type of top line. How do we get there for the least amount of advertising expense? And if it goes over, we'll deal with that problem when we get there. But you got to reverse engineer to get to the revenue that you're looking for in a month.
Yeah, so then for me, I'm drilling down. So now I know the numbers of leads I need to generate because we know our numbers and we work with clients. I work with clients so that we know what those numbers are. They quite often they get overwhelmed with, oh my God, and I say, well, look, we're just looking at this one number. Let's look at how many leads we're generating, because we know that will filter through into how many sales you make, which you'll hit your revenue goals. So now we know that, and let's say, for example, they're looking for 30 leads that month. I said, well, look, that's a lead a day. What can we do now to generate that lead? And I've run it a few times now. What I call the 30 leads in 30 days challenge.
Nice.
And that came about
that's very like simple. 1 lead a day.
That's I'm a simple guy, so I like to try and keep things simple. And it came about that when I had my first boot camp, it was like, I need leads. I need leads now. What do I do? And I thought, right, let's try and get 30 leads this day. I hadn't had 30 leads in total by that stage. So 30 leads in a month. So how am I going to achieve that? But that made me focus, and I reached out to someone. I sent a letter to a business, and suddenly I had 16 people in that organization wanted to take part. So in one communication, I was almost halfway there. Then I looked at something else, and then I looked. It was each day I focused on one thing to drive a lead, and within 7 days I had 30 leads. So I'd smashed that 30 and 30. But
did you keep going? Did you try to get more, or did you not want to?
Yeah. Okay. It was a game. Then I wanted to increase it, and we did. So over time, that's been built out into this 30 leads and 30 days challenge, where each day I put together what I feel is something that would take the business owner about half an hour maximum a day to do. But it was a simple thing that if they block time on their day to work on their business and look at the focus of what most of us need, as you say, leads that's going to result in revenue, then we're working on our business as opposed to in it. That's a strategy that I continue to this day.
How have you seen are the best ways to get leads?
For me, looking at partnerships, so reaching out to business, coming on podcasts is a great way of expanding your reach. Strategic partnerships. So, as I say, people like to do business with those they know, like, and trust. And if you can show and give support to somebody else and help them, then in turn, they're not obliged, but they're almost obliged to say, "Hey, what can I do for you?"
Right. It's a human principle. It's like you do someone a favor, they don't have to, but they feel obligated to do you a favor or do something for you.
So partnerships are a big thing for me. Be it with so in the fitness industry, for example, if me being I'm not running boot camps now, but when I was a boot camp operator, I knew that there would be the clothing guys, so I would do a deal with them. My biggest referrers were hairdressers, massage, and spas, where my clients would go. And I asked my clients, "Where do you get your hair done? Where do you get your nails done? Which massage?"
It's local, right? That's the thing about a gym. I've never really done a lot of local marketing because we ship across the country, and it doesn't really matter if you live next door or in California, from across the country or from where I am. Either way, it's the same. But local, it seems like it's not, I don't know, but easier, but at least it's very contained. So like that strategy works there because the people are hairdressers, they're chit-chatting. Who do you know? Oh, I gotta get to the gym. Hey, I know someone at the gym. Like that works in a local sense.
And I had a lot again, with the island being finance and a lot of legal practices here. I had a lawyer who was a client, got him into shape, so he was suddenly feeling much more positive. He was winning more cases. That was getting noticed by his team. So then he would refer. He had his protege came up. He was training, and suddenly I was known as the trainer for lawyers and
nice.
People in the legal profession. So again, it's just, as I say, focus on doing your best, but then remember to ask for the referral. So I always followed the EAR principle when it comes to referrals. So earn by doing a great job, giving a great experience, then ask. That's where we forget a lot of the time, but I'll obviously ask in the right way, and then reward. So I was always good to reward my clients. And the reward, when I say reward,
do you mean reward someone who gave you a referral?
Yeah, that reward might be just a card, a show of appreciation.
Yeah, thank you.
Just a thank you note. But I had a number of clients. Again, I guess it's that Pareto principle with the 80-20, where a small percentage of my clients would refer the majority of my referrals. So those types of guys, it might be I'll say Starbucks, for example. It might be a Starbucks card, or it might be an Amazon gift card.
Something monetary as opposed to just a thank you.
Yeah, and there's the legal client. I got him a little stool. He was doing meditation. And so we had this handcrafted meditation stool made for him, which
Nice.
Was probably about $100, but the amount of thousands of dollars that he'd passed
it's a great return on ad spend in a way.
Yeah.
It's not ads,
so that was a bit more than what was normal, but he'd referred significantly more over the years. So it was just a small part on that side.
So yeah, referrals. I mean, that's the classic business. It's the best way. It's free. And, if you're valuable enough, then you're going to add value to the person who adds value to their friend by actually telling them, yo, this is awesome. Then their friend likes them more because they went to you and it was actually awesome. So like everyone wins if you're providing value. That's classic referral. What about more of like a technical online search engines, ads, social media? What about that stuff?
For me nowadays, content marketing is king, and it's really because again, there's a time investment for writing blog posts or doing videos. If you're comfortable in front of video, not everybody is. I appreciate that, but writing and certainly having your website, and again in the fitness industry, there's still significantly a lot of people that don't have their own domain, their own website. They're predominant.
Really?
They'll have a face. In the UK, certainly they'll have a Facebook post or they'll be on Instagram. They're putting all of their renting space. They're a renter, not a landlord. And
you got to convert them somewhere. You need to bring them home. That's your website.
And if something happens, like when Facebook and Instagram, WhatsApp went down a few weeks back, then you're lost. You've got no way of connecting with your folks. So,
well, not to mention like the actual place where you would put in your credit card numbers and your CVC code and your your expiration date, the actual place where you get paid. I don't know if Facebook and Instagram are kind of doing some stuff like that, but you want to have your own website with your own checkout page. Like that is where you put your codes, where you can track your conversions and send back to Facebook. I mean, you need your home turf, your actual website.
You do. So I look at your website as being your home base, and I look at the social media as being outposts. They're there for you to wave and to put your head above the parapet and say, hey, this is me. Here I am. If you want to learn more,
you're right.
Come and visit me at my home, and you make your home as welcoming as you can, so that they can find their way around your website. So don't make it too challenging. Give value. Have that area where they can read what I call open gated content, which is like your blog posts and that. But if they want something a little bit more that's tailored to them, that's where your lead magnets, your cheat sheets, your blueprints, your meal plans or whatever, they get them in exchange for their emails. So now they're on your email list. And that for me is the overarching goal for any certainly online business, is to build your mailing list, because that's where that's your asset.
That's also kind of your home, your mailing list.
It is.
Yeah.
And you build your tribe. My nickname's Braveheart. Wallis.
Freedom.
It is, and that's what I try to do with my clients, is to give them the financial freedom and lifestyle freedom that they're after. But so we're looking to get to that home base, and that's where the website comes. But it's content, because the content we've wrote with good keywords is going to get you optimized. And what really blew me away was the book by Marcus Sheridan. I don't know if you've read it, called They Ask, You Answer.
Nah.
incredible book. And any budding entrepreneur or business owner, I feel that would be on my.
I'm taking a note. I'm taking a note because I've always loved reading, and I went to audiobooks for a couple of years, and I'm going back to like physical books because I like that more now. And what's it called? What's the title? They Ask You Answer.
They Ask You Answer, and it's by Marcus Sheridan. Awesome. Honestly, it would be on my top 5 books of all time. It's up there with the E-Myth and books like that. But basically, the premise behind that, and it brought me to tears reading Marcus's story. I won't give it too much away, apart from the fact that he realized when he didn't have the money to invest into Facebook advertising or any print advertising and that, but they needed for his business, which at that time was a swimming pool company in the US. And this is back in 2008. 2008. That was when the stock markets and things.
Big crash then.
They needed to market their business, so they realized that they had to write content or produce content, and basically the content they created was through questions that their client base or prospects had asked. So they ask, you answer. So that's the premise. And
in what form did he do that? Was it video, blogs?
Back in those days, it was blog posts. Now it would be a mixture of blog posts. It would be video content as well. Would play their part. For me now, it would be blog content, but having in your blog, having some video content and some mixing it up, so you're covering all the bases on that side of things and getting extra Google juice, as we say, on that side of things. But content for me, content creation, content marketing should play a primary focus for certainly with the online side of things, because people, if their intent is gone from not being aware to suddenly in terms of fitness, that they want to find out about how do I do a kettlebell swing, or how do I what's the best home gym equipment to buy. Well, they've got intent. They're considering buying equipment or looking for somebody's services. So if they suddenly find you in Google search, they're onto your website and they read a compelling article, blog post. There's got a video of you talking about showing the types of equipment that you would recommend. And then that could lead to some affiliate links on there for that equipment, or click below for a consultation or whatever. Then you've given value, and you've interacted with someone that's on the amber to green list, if we're going back to that traffic temperature. And it's quick and easy for us to do, and particularly now with the likes of AI. I don't know how much experience you might have with these, like of Jarvis, which helps you write content and things. Remarkable. So even those of us who aren't the greatest writers, the software and tools and services out there that can Jarvis. So it's JARVIS.ai.
And that helps you write blogs?
Yeah, it's incredible. It's scary.
You put in some. I've seen things like that. You put in some keywords, some objectives, and it pumps out a post.
Yeah. And they've got that's a whole nother story. But they've got boss mode now, which basically it's got a command, and you'll put in that I want to write about how to do a Turkish get up. Let's keep on with marketing. I want to write a blog post on how to start with a content marketing planner for 2022. Control Enter, and Jarvis will pull from content. He'll write content for you. Not good on facts and figures. You'd need to adjust, but it helps as I say, it helps the best of us that can write to write quicker.
Wow.
But for those of us who may not be able to write, then it's a game changer.
Wow.
It really is.
That's really cool.
And you can actually pick out. So I could type, I want it to be wrote in the manner that Sean Lowery would write or talk. And if you've got it, if you've done enough content in the past, it knows your tone of voice.
Wow.
So it's got the likes of Tony Robbins and Joe
really
Rogan,
cool.
and
it's
a game changer.
Wow.
Really is.
That's really cool. I'm going to use that. That's some good insight. And that helps give you your content. I mean, even if you have a business and you have all the marketing budget in the world and you're going to want to go spend some money, you have to spend money on promoting something, and that's your content. Like everyone needs ongoing content. Fitness business, clothing business, restaurant, service. You need content because if you're ready to spend money, you have to spend money on promoting this blog post or this picture or this video or this workout course. I mean, you need content, of course.
You do. Absolutely, you do.
Do you spend ad money a lot? Are you a big Facebook ad guy, Google ad guy, or is that kind of secondary to the content? Because if you just start an Instagram account or start a blog, even more a blog, and you just post the best blog of ever written, whether it's by you or Jarvis, no one's going to find it. Right.
I was going to say I beg to differ, but no, you're right. To a degree, it's going to take a bit of time. If you've got all your bases covered, you've done your SEO research, you've got some good keywords in there, and you've crafted a blog post that's in line with what's on the first page of Google. So, for example, if I was posting on content management, and that was my keyword phrase, I initially go onto Google and I'll have a look to see, and I use tools like SEO Minion, which will tell me of the 10 results on page 1, it'll tell me how many H1 headlines they've got, how many H2s, what the average length, what the length of each post is, so I can work out the average of what Google's tell me what it's wanting to see on page 1.
So you're really into the SEO element, trying to get your content to rank when people search for the term, because that's a big game. That's a big game. It's a tough game because sometimes it takes some time. I mean, if you start a new website and you write a blog, Google's not going to rank that in the top page within a week or a month or maybe even a year. They want to see that the site is credible, and then like the Washington Post or like the LA Times, like if they write an article that is content heavy and it fits the right things that you find, it'll rank higher because the site's credible.
Yeah, that's domain authority, Sean.
Right,
so I don't know
domain
how much
authority.
That, but the likes of Washington Post and New York Times, they're going to have domain authority of 90 out of 100. When we first start, if I was starting a website today, it would have a domain authority of 0.
Exactly. You can't buy domain authority. You can't just manufacture it. It's something that comes with a lot of time.
So this is playing the long game. So content marketing you'll win in the long term. Certainly, and when I say long term, we're looking 6 months plus. You will get some spikes and you will get some traffic out of the gate, but it's planting the seeds now for the harvest, in time. So you mentioned Facebook ads for that quick win. That's where I would be if you've got the investment to make into that, because it can, as you know, it can be expensive, but you can start small. And you can, for $5 a day, you can try. And again, I would be looking for somebody listening to this. Don't go and push again that cold audience. They're on social media. They're not looking for a membership to Orange Theory when they're sat down just scrolling to see what their friends are up to. But if they see a post on, it might be you doing a video of like Phew, that was a tough session today.
Right.
But I feel better for it. And that person knows you and go, I didn't know Sean was going to Orange Theory. No, and now I know why he's looking so buff. Okay. And next time I ask him, I must ask him about what it's like down there. And so if they've seen that, then obviously that's where the retargeting can come in. And that then if somebody's watched a certain amount of a video, let's say 50% of it, then there's a good chance that they've shown enough interest to be able to follow it up with, and you can follow that up with some further value-based content, and then that leads them into, hey, would you like to learn more? Would you like to come in for a free trial? Right. So it's rather than trying to hit that home run.
So like when you run ads, like you're like a funnel, do you have like an audience for cold, an audience for warm, and then like a conversion audience where you're looking for them to get their sale? It's the same concept. It's the same concept as the red, amber, yellow, but it's done with spending a little bit of money through the ad platform.
Yeah, so that's what I like to do with my clients. It's like finding out what, where they're at the moment. What ad spend what money have we got to invest in?
Right.
Have we got any money to invest in our marketing? And if we haven't, well, we've got to invest time. And then that's where the content comes in. It's a longer play, but it's so with my clients, it's finding where they're at and finding the best strategy and the best solution to fit their needs at this time.
Yeah.
And then as we scale up, we're able to, we can look at other areas and other things. So if they didn't have money then, well, we'll look at offline, no income, no monetary investment. But then when they start making some money through sales, we can reinvest that into other areas and maybe into Facebook ads and the likes.
Right. Yeah. So it's the same principles. I mean, provide value to people, make them like you, and then ask them for money. And that can be through the content marketing, which takes a little longer. It can be through the paid platform, which might help you, but it could be taken away from you at any time because you don't own it. It's renting it. But that is kind of the base principle. Is provide value, warm them up, let them get to know you, let them be comfortable with you, and then ask them for money, and then do that over and over and over again, and then build trust, and then people refer, spread the word, and that's kind of the cores, and that's beautiful. I love that.
It is. It's not rocket science. It's, as I say, it's nice and simple. It's simple enough for somebody like me to understand, but we try to overcomplicate it. And then, unfortunately, there's a lot of gurus out there now that try and tell us that there's a secret well, or there's a hack that can be made and all that. And the only hack that is they're hacking into your wallet to take away your money. Unfortunately, it's just stay away from those bright, shiny objects and just focus on the principles. Principles are tried and tested. They've been around for years. Business hasn't really changed over time.
Right.
It's
same way humans need to exercise still. That's just part of humans. Business is kind of the same way. It's there might be something flashy over here, some new things to learn, but the principles remain the same, dating back to when your government was founded over there. And
exactly. Methods change, but principles always stay the same. So if we focus on the principles, we won't go too far wrong. And as I say, don't overcomplicate things. Keep it simple. Keep it focused. And as I say, the way I do it with my clients is we focus on that one number, that one thing that we need to focus on, and we stay consistent, and we continue. We get that traction. We get that momentum, and we can find freedom.
Love it. Freedom, like William Wallis. I love it. I saw one thing you were talking about was like vanity metrics. What do you think is like the most vanity metric that marketers obsess over that's not that important?
Oh, for me, it's like looking at how many likes they've had or things. It's just like, hey, likes are, it's just like, look at me in the mirror. It don't mean anything really.
Yeah. Like watching 50% of a video is actually a more important metric because you can take that on Facebook, make an audience out of it, but no one can see that. It's not as cool.
No. So people, and I find myself looking at stuff and go, oh, they've had so many likes, and then it's slap, get back on it, focus.
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously it's vanity, but sometimes, I mean, likes are good, but it might help you if you're doing content marketing. You post one thing, certain amount of likes, post something else, has lots of likes. That might tell you this is the type of content people are looking for. So it does mean something, but I feel like to that, some people who are worried about how they look, they're like, I don't even care how much money's in the bank. No one can see that. I care about how many likes I get because it looks better. And that's where it becomes vain.
It does. It strokes our ego at the end of the day, and at times like we've been living in the past 18 months, then there's an element of it that we need that virtual hug to feel liked. It's
definitely.
We're not loners. We love communities. We thrive in communities. We thrive with that interaction between ourselves, and so likes to a degree can help.
Right. But a lot of the times, don't obsess over it. It's not the most important thing.
Over it.
It's not putting money in your bank account. Andrew, this has been awesome. I have one last topic question for you. I saw you had a blog post. It's called "What's the Secret to Insane Productivity?" And I am always interested in that topic because I'm running my business. I'm doing the podcast. I'm always trying to take my energy, put it in the best places. Tell me about how you're going to, just like if you try to hack content marketing or hack ads, how does a human hack itself to be the most productive it could be?
I think at first, because as I say, we have that many bright, shiny objects.
Wait, actually, before, real quick, did Jarvis write that blog post?
No.
I
wish he.
All right, I'll believe you.
I wish he had done, because I would have so much more blog posts out. He'd be writing my next one, so watch out for that. But for me, looking at for productivity, I've always been, I've always done what I call a brain dump, because I have that much noise going on my head that I need to silence that noise so I can get clarity. So that's whenever I find that my productivity levels have gone down, having a brain dump and just getting something done.
What's a brain dump, like in your terms?
In my terms, I'm old school, so I have a pen and paper, and I'll sit down and I'll just scribble everything that's going on, any to-dos and everything. I'll write on a list. My clients, they might do it on a
Google Doc or whatever, but basically just write down everything you're thinking about. That's a brain dump.
So that's my brain dump. So it's dumping it out of my brain onto paper.
Okay.
Then that gives me clarity. I can put that aside and come back to it. Or if I've made the time, I'll then review what I've got there. And I have marker pens then where I'll highlighter pens where I'll go that. Green might be for money, so any financial like updating my cash dashboard or doing invoicing or doing my books, that goes in green. Any red tape, any admin, that might be in red, so I start highlighting them in red. Any personal items, or like for my fitness, getting my workouts in, that might be in blue, and so on and so on. So I've got them all color coded, and then alongside each one, how long will that roughly take me? And so I'm marking down then a rough idea of how long that task, that project might take. So now I can clearly see down on paper how things are separated, but then I can also see what should be my priorities, and I'm taking them and I'm looking at and that's where my week planner comes into place, and my Google Calendar. And then first things on there are my client sessions. They're the most important things. So you
can't schedule the admin stuff at the same time as that.
Exactly. But then the most important thing on the list that needs to be done for that week, that's going at the earliest part of the week and the earliest part in the day, so that it's following that Brian, is it Brian Tracy, Eat That Frog?
Yeah, I know Brian
Approach, where they might not be the most pleasant task, and you know that you'll put it off if you leave it alone. Get it done first, because it's unpleasant, but once you've got it done, it's like, yes, hallelujah time, and you can go and you can reward yourself. Having a workout is my reward, or having your hot chocolate or whatever. But you've got that done. So if the day goes to whatever,
shit,
exactly. You know that you've got something productive done. And
do you find that usually that task is you mentioned the green and the red and the blue or whatever it was, admin, whatever it was, personal. Do you find that is usually the same thing, or is it different every week?
It differs each week.
Okay.
There's going to be certain elements which are on there each time, because I'll always make sure, I was always, back in the day when I was a raw recruit, I didn't know my numbers, and then I wondered why my business wasn't achieving what I wanted it to do, because I had no direction, I had no guiding light. So numbers, they're always done at the start of the week. There's always a review at the end of the week as well. So on a Friday, and I was doing this before our call, with me being 5 hours ahead of you,
right?
I'm looking at how the week went, what went well, what perhaps didn't go so well, what still needs to be done. So I'm already planning for the week ahead.
It's like planning your planning.
That's
planning out when you're going to plan. That's actually important. I think that's good value right there, because sometimes you make the perfect plan for the whole week, and then the next week hits and you didn't have time to plan it because you already planned out everything. So planning when you're going to plan is smart, and then it's just discipline of sticking to it, I would imagine.
Yeah, and then every evening when I finish for the day, I'm always just checking how the day went, and then just looking forward to see what. So when I start the next day, I already know what my first few tasks are, so that I'm not twiddling my thumbs and thinking, oh right, what am I doing? So there's always focus. And checking emails, I'll do that a couple of times a day. So it's not the first thing I do. It'll be mid-morning, mid-afternoon, so that again I'm focusing on the work I want to do, I need to do, as opposed to being reactive.
Email's a distraction. It's you make a plan, and then you get an email, you get lost in some chain, and all of a sudden you don't complete what you needed to do. So that's a good one to have a start time and a stop time, maybe.
It is. So that's, and then it's just consistency. And don't get me wrong, Sean, there's days where, they do go pants, and you just think, that's it. And I would beat myself up previously, but now I just know, right, let's just look at let's get back to the plan, draw the line in the sand, and plan ahead and adjust.
That's great.
If there's a plane traveling from, let's say, from LA to New York, they don't fly directly there. They're always drifting off, but the autopilot just brings it back on track. And that, to me, is what the planning at the end of the day is. We just, are we off track? If we are, let's just bring us back to center, and that's consistent.
Yeah. So don't get down on yourself if you get off track. The day's not ruined. Get back on track, and don't feel any anger towards yourself.
Exactly. If you have a bad minute, if you have a bad hour, that doesn't dictate your day. If you have a bad day, it doesn't dictate your week. If you had a bad week, it doesn't dictate your month. And if you have a bad month, then you've still got 11 months to have a brilliant year. So don't beat yourself up. Shit happens. And
if you have a bad year, all right, now you gotta just come on. That's too long.
If you have a bad year, speak to somebody, and before that happens, and speak to your support group, speak to your mates, speak to your coach, to whoever.
Yeah, that'd be like the plane from LA to New York ending up in Canada somewhere. It's like, all right, that's not okay. That's too long. But just stay productive, stay on track, and don't get mad at yourself for going off track a little bit. And that's so key. It's kind of like fitness in general. If you go to the gym every day, but it's Tuesday and you miss Tuesday, all right, you still got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You work out 4 out of 5 days. That's a good week. And if you make that a habit, it just becomes normal. And then it's almost weird. It's weird when you miss a day, because it's like, whoa, something was weird today. Oh yeah, I didn't go to the gym. That's part of my habit. And once you get that down, you set your calendar, you put in your calendar when you're going to plan, then boom, you got it mapped out. You understand the principles that we discussed, you understand the calendar, and then all great value, all great insight. And I love it.
I always remember Jerry Springer. I can't remember.
Jerry.
Yeah, I think I heard this from Russell Brunson years ago about he had this chain, and people saying, "How are you so productive in your writing?" And he just had his calendar, and he'd put an X on each day, so he didn't want to break the chain. So.
It's like, all right, I already did 6 in a row. I might do 7. I would do 8. Now I'm like, I think another good thing is like, say you're doing that with a calendar, like maybe post it on social media, like put it out there. Like if I'm trying to ever lose weight, I want to like tell as many people as possible. So it's like, you feel accountable. And then once you got that streak going, post about it, talk about it, and then keep it going. And it gets easier and easier and easier. And it's like, all right, I already went this long. If I break it now, all right, go again. And just, that's a good, I think I like that. I've seen that before. The calendar with the red X's, and it's like, get through 3, get through 4, get through 5, brag about it. Not for the sense of bragging, for the sense of accountability to others. And then it's almost like weird if you don't do it.
Yeah, and it's accountability. It helps you hold yourself more accountable.
Exactly.
I did it. I wanted to see if I could work out 180 days in a set period of time, and I went through a whole year of working out every day. Now I wasn't flogging myself, at 60 minutes.
You did enough to get the X.
Yeah. So it was like 20 minutes one day. It might be a run another. It might be a series of kettlebell swings or a kettlebell circuit. It might be using the TRX or a sandbag. Variety was in there, but it enabled me to get the X. And I wanted to do 30 days in a row, and then it was right, I'm going to aim for 100. I'll never do 100, and then suddenly 100 was passed, and then I thought, screw it, I'm going for 365.
You did 365.
Yeah.
What did you do on day 366?
I went for a run.
Oh, you did?
I went for a run. I went for a run, but I went and did some shuttle runs, and I went and pinged my my Achilles. So maybe there was a bit of overtraining.
No, but actually, so you like, because that's actually on day 366 you hurt your Achilles.
Yeah,
there's got to be something mental there. That's crazy. It's like your body was like, stop. But yeah, that's funny because like if you that just shows like if you get down to do push-ups, and I tell myself I could probably do like 40 push-ups. But if I tell myself I got to do 44, I could probably do 44. But if I go in saying I'm going to do 30, then I can, it's just like the expectation that you set for yourself is important. And that's funny that your body was like, nope. Hey man, you did the 365. That's a year.
Come on.
You're done. That's awesome.
So
cool,
it went a bit over, but hey, it was done. And it's one for it's in the chapter of the book. It's a great
story. It's a great story. That's awesome. Andrew, tell everyone where they should go follow you and go find you, and where should everyone go to get more from you?
Yeah, if you want to do more, then you can just do at Andrew Wallis. And that's Wallis is WLLIS HQ. So at Andrew Wallis.
Not
HQ,
like William Wallace, your boy.
No, I need to change. People. That's why I spell it, because everyone does the HCE. Right. But so it's Andrew at Andrew Wallis HQ, or you can get me at andrewwallis.me.
Okay. All right, awesome. Yeah, and we'll link it up in the podcast and on YouTube and everything. And Andrew, you're the man. I appreciate your time. This has been awesome, very insightful. I think my favorite thing I learned is about Jarvis. I think that's really interesting. The blog writing platform, because I'm familiar with a lot of this stuff, and that is to me specifically. I'm sure the listener, it's valuable, all of it, but that sounds cool.
Jarvis is going to be huge. You know, he already is growing, and he's my boy. You know, he's my writing genius.
Love it.
So
love it.
When everyone comes over and starts reading posts over the next few weeks and months, then I would like to say it's me, but it's going to be Jarvis. It's
fair enough. All right. Thanks everyone for watching, and peace out. See you later.